Hello there, Cancer. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast. This forecast is for the week of May the 16th through the 22nd. I am going to be pulling one card per day just so that we can look at the highlights for each day, see if there's any themes that come up for the week, and then just move forward from there. As I'm shuffling, let me remind everybody this is a general reading, meaning that not everything I come up with here is going to apply to every single Cancer. However, most of it will apply to most of you. If you would like to have a reading that is not a collective reading, if you have some questions you need answered, or if you want to know more about some of the things that show up here, either one, feel free to reach out to me for a private reading. All of my contact information is at the website at the top of this screen. Also, while you're there, don't forget to sign up for my newsletter that's down at the bottom of my homepage, where you can find out about my special promotions that happen only for newsletter readers and any classes or anything that I have coming up. Can't remember if I've got any coming up right now. Maybe. Alrighty, I think so actually. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to be teaching people how to read the tarot psychically, sharing my secret sauce. All right, let's look at the weekend here, Cancers. We're starting off with a card for Saturday. That is the Poet showing up in reverse. It's funny because I'm hearing my dad say, I'm a poet and I don't know it. Didn't know it. So that's going to be interesting to see what shows up for that card once we start digging in. Then Sunday we have Ariadne showing up in reverse as well. By the way, if you're new here, reversals are no big deal. We're not stressed out about them on my channel at all. I don't read them as necessarily bad. Many times they're neutral, many times they're good. So we just don't stress out about reversals. Now, Saturday, Poet coming up in reverse. This is for Cancers. Okay, Cancers, I want you to be really careful because this person who is seemingly charming without even trying may not be 100% truthful as they're charming you, as they're being charming. And so you may want to just double check any information that they're spilling, any beans that they're spilling. You may want to verify, confirm or deny on Saturday. There could be something where they're just trying to be a little bit too slick, is what I think from this Poet coming up in reverse. And this is somebody you're interacting with. This is not you. Yeah. Yeah, when I ask for clarity on that, we've got the star card showing up. So this is literally my card for clarity. So this says that whatever this person is saying may not be bringing a lot of clarity, maybe bringing more questions than answers. I don't want you to ignore those and sweep them under the rug, okay? If you've got somebody trying to tell you something and every time they open their mouth and you just have more questions, you should ask those questions. You should find out what's going on. Why is that happening? Because they're muddying up clarity for sure. I'm not going to say that they're the L word, but I will say they are definitely telling some untruths. All right, let's look at Sunday. What do we have for Sunday? Ariadne showing up in reverse. Ariadne showing up in reverse is a card that talks about standing up for yourself, holding your ground, basically. So this is my death card in a normal deck or in a traditional deck. Let's say, I don't know, what's normal? Setting on the dryer, that's all. But in a traditional deck, this would be the death card. Here, Ariadne talks about making some transformations, talks about when she's right side up, looking at things differently, thinking about things differently, doing things differently. But when she's in reverse, this says, you have already thought your position out really well. And now it's time for you to hold your ground. So somebody may be trying to talk you into doing something that is against what you already decided. And so you're holding your ground. You're not going for it. Could it be this person here who's telling some untruths, who's muddying our clarity? Could be, could very easily be. Doesn't have to be, but we've got them 2 days in a row on the weekend. If you're around somebody for 2 days in a row, Could be that you have to tell them, yeah, I'm not changing my position no matter what you're saying over there, because I don't really believe you. And I would say don't jump to any conclusions, but definitely look for some evidence. Look for confirm or deny in this situation. How did Ronald Reagan used to say it when he was talking about the Soviets? Trust but verify. That's what I think is good here. Like, trust but verify. Make them show you the proof. Bring their receipts of what they're saying. Okay. And I think you're going to be doing that, showing that you're standing your ground on Sunday. I think you're going to be like, you know what, I already see what your story is, buddy or gal, whatever. I'm not changing anything. I know where I stand and I know what I want. That's the kind of energy I see coming off of you on Sunday. And that's the kind of energy I would encourage, actually. Now, boop, 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 boop. Let's look at the cards for the week. Monday, we have Mott. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but Justice. She is the card for Justice in this deck. We have the Four of Scrolls. I just love this card. Doesn't she look peaceful? To me, she speaks about somebody who fell asleep reading a book or maybe even listening to an audiobook. Just think she looks so peaceful. Wednesday, we have LP, which is like the star in a different deck. Very nice card. Thursday, Seven of Scrolls in reverse. Ooh, that's interesting. We'll have to talk about that one. And Friday, Queen of Scrolls also in reverse. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, the end of the week is interesting. I think you're going to be changing something about the people you interact with, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's first look at Monday. Monday, we've got Mott showing up here. This just tells me that you're making some kind of decision on Monday, and this is a decision that will impact more than what's for supper, let's say. And I think that you're making this decision as fairly as you absolutely can. And generally, this is going to be a decision that has to do with two people that want different things, or maybe they want the same thing, but they're both trying to prove their worth to you. And so you have to make the most fair decision possible. I think that you're working on that. You won't have any trouble with it, really. And then we have Tuesday, we have that Four of Scrolls showing up here. This just tells me that you may be resting actually on Tuesday. And as you rest, you may be getting a new perspective around something. You may come to a deeper understanding of it or a more current understanding around something whenever you're resting on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I think that you're feeling much better. With the star coming up here on Wednesday, this tells me that Tuesday you might be resting because you're not feeling all that hot. And then the star talks about healing. It also talks about hope. When that comes in on Wednesday, I think you're feeling better. Maybe not 100% yet, but better. Now, this is where things get really interesting and juicy. Juicy towards the end of the week. So Thursday, we have the Seven of Scrolls showing up in reverse. Now, if you look at this right side up, you can see that somebody is really trying to communicate, but nobody's opening those doors. So they're just leaving the notes, hoping somebody finds them someday, but the person is not reading these. Leaving these things unread, right? And so with the Seven of Scrolls in reverse, this is you. Actually, somebody is trying to reach out to you and get your attention, maybe even more than one somebody. You're not even opening that door to pay attention at all. Maybe because you weren't feeling so hot. I don't know. But by Thursday, I think you're feeling better. And I still don't see you being ready to entertain a whole big discussion with anybody or a whole lot of little discussions with a bunch of people, either one. And then on Friday, we have the Queen of Scrolls coming up in reverse. I think you're feeling much more introverted on Friday. Like, look, I just want to take care of me. I want to take care of my family. If you have a family, I don't really want to be disturbed. I don't want to be bothered. Very interesting. And that kind of goes back to, it ties in really nicely with this theme of I'm not returning communication. I'm not messing around with whatever somebody else is trying to say to me. And also, if we go back and if we look at the weekend from earlier, we had this person that wasn't really telling the truth that you probably had to stand at your own ground with. So by the time we get to Friday, is it any surprise I don't want to see my weekend person again? You're making me tired. I don't want to be around you. And this is that card. This is the card that says, I just want to be an introvert. I just want to do my own stuff. You go be happy somewhere else type of energy. Go be happy somewhere else and let me find my peace is basically what this card is saying, Cancers. All right. So that's what we have for your week. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate you all so much. I know I'm going to see some of you here this week for readings and Reiki sessions and for mentoring, but the rest of you, I'll see back on the next video. Peace out.